Hey y'all, Cheraw Tony here. Today the road brings me to Manitou Springs, Colorado, and I am here at Pikes Peak COG Railroad, and we are going to the top by the way of the COG Railroad, and you get to come with us. And it's already hard to breathe up this high. Can't imagine what it's going to be like on the top. Anyway, we'll get started right after this station identification. This is Manitou Springs, Colorado. We are here in the historic district. One thing interesting about this little town is that there are artesian wells everywhere. Quaint little town. Don't let the empty streets fool you though. It's really early in the morning. It will fill up fast. There's a hotel. Here is one of the springs here. Manitou's mineral springs have been appreciated for their helpful benefits through history. These are the healing waters. Okay, Miss Debbie's gonna try this water.
It's nasty.
It tastes like battery acid.
Oh.
Well, that spring water tasted pretty nasty, kind of tart. Here is another one. Let's give it a shot. It's a different one. Let's see what this water tastes like. I tell you what it tastes like, and I know why. It helps soothe the stomach. It tastes like Alka-Seltzer. We'll be traveling to 14,115 foot above sea level. They say regardless of our age and fitness level, lightheadedness and disorientation can occur at this elevation. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be experiencing altitude sickness. Children or individuals with existing health issues and individuals who cannot communicate their symptoms should proceed with caution. And here is the COG railway train. And we'll be going up there. As far as about being disoriented, I was disoriented at sea level. Well, here is a look inside of the rail car before it gets filled with people. And Debbie and I will be in the front car.
My job first and foremost is all about the safety of the passengers on board that each is.
Alright, we are going up Pikes Peak, and I've got a seat right behind the engineer. You can see the back of his head. And we are climbing slowly but steady. It's a little over an hour to the top of the mountain. Unfortunately, I got a rear facing seat, but I'm kind of standing up and looking behind me. It is absolutely beautiful though.
As we come to the head of Engelman Canyon, it may interest you all to know that there was actually a hotel that operated up here for 34 years. It was built originally in the 1880s as a one-room log cabin for the owner. As we pass by, take a look down at the foundation. The rocks you're going to see there, along with all the window frames and door frames, are actually what was salvaged from the Halfway House Hotel when it was removed. And I now welcome you to the small municipality of Ruxton Park. It's got a population of a whole big fat whopping 0. The family that used to live here, though, lived here full time to maintain the hydroelectric plant you see there behind the house. They lived here with their 2 dogs, Sparky and Bruno, and their 2 young children. It's a whole lot less fun. Behold, everybody, America the Beautiful.
Right now we are going up about a 25% grade. It's pretty steep, and that's why you have to have a COG railroad to do this. Don't have to sand the tracks here.
Row 57, over the course of the 200 feet of the train, and on the 25% grade, means that Jeff is sitting 4 stories higher than our friends back in row 57. Now, as we start to work our way above the tree line, if you take a look off our 3C side and back just a little bit, left here after the last ice age when the glaciers moved, but a lot of people do tell me that it doesn't look very naturally occurring, and that's simply because special is the fact that they tend to live for centuries. These trees that we're looking at up here are actually the babies, dated between 200 and 300 years old. We're standing right outside the platform, except in extremely limited circumstances.
Look how sharp
If you are not on board
track
in your
turns.
seat by the time my doors close, you
kinda
will
sit
be
great
left
as it goes
behind.
up.
We will not wait for
Across
anybody. This is not a joke, everybody. You need to make sure you are back on.
Okay, we are at the top of Pikes Peak, and it is in close to the middle of July. Actually, it is the middle of July, and you see the snow up here. Pretty cool. And off in the distance, you can see the road that you can actually drive up here. You can see where you walk, there's no guardrails. This is what's left of the original Summit House from 1873. You can see it's all caved in. Probably from some of the high winds. And here it is here from 1891. And that's what the COG railway looked like back in the early 1900s. And of course, here is the COG railway engine in the 1940s. And there it is now. And here is actually a good view of the COG railway itself.
From the grassy meadows of its foothills,
There's
up to the pines, firs, and aspens of the montane
a display
zone, the evergreens
talking
of
about the tallest
subalpine zone,
mountains,
to the summit's alpine grasses and
20,000 feet is
the natural
Denali.
beauty of Pikes Peak has lured visitors for generations.
Vinson and Antarctica is 16,000. And Pikes Peak, where we are right now, 14,115. And as you can see on top of Pikes Peak, you are able to drive up, but it's a very narrow, long, and winding and steep road. And yes, there is snow up here. Here is a orientation map of the top of Pikes Peak, the railroad station where we came in at. And this is where we are now. Look, all those folks out there on the rocks. And there are no paths out there, they just crawled out there. And there's more. Could you imagine riding to the top of Pikes Peak in that back in the 1920s? I sure couldn't. As I've said earlier in this video, that you need to book your tickets way in advance because this is the absolutely best seat in the house. When did you guys book your tickets?
Yes, my daughter-in-law.
Yeah. When did y'all get these tickets?
Yolanda, when did you book the front tickets?
Okay, so they booked these 2 months ago. So if you want to book row 1, A, B, or C, get an awesome view. And if you get a rear seat, this is what your view is. Not much, but you can stand up and look out the side. You see many trees up this high. Oh yeah, see the deer? And if you look way down there, there's some elk. That is going to do it for our trip to the Pikes Peak COG Railway and to the top of Pikes Peak. I have to say, it was very exhilarating. Debbie, what you think?
It's an experience that if you ever have the chance to do it, you sure do need to.
And I also say, if you book tickets on the COG Railway, you need to book them months in advance, and you need to get forward seating because I got rear seating and it's not very good.
But you also need to sit on the third row side. There's 2 sides. One side has three seats, the other has 2. You need to do the 3-seat side. It is a little more packed, but that's the best views of the ride up.
Yeah, and if you can get seat number 1, you're really lucky because that is the best seat in the house. Well, again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. But until next time.
Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, what she said.